You've trained a lot of good fighters in that, a lot of good heavyweights. Still early days in your relationship with David Adeleye, but how good can he be?
Yeah, he has all the ingredients, the athletic ability, punch power. He's got all the ingredients to be a high-grade, elite-level fighter. And it's about, giving him the test and him proving that he can rise to the occasion under the spotlights against the right opponents.
We spoke about it on the podcast, which will be available to download later today. You had a wish list of heavyweights. Hrgovic was on that list. Why Hrgovic?
Because, I gave a list of 5 opponents. I want fights that if he does the right job, he wins. If he does the wrong job, he loses. There has to be that real jeopardy. If he wants to reach the elite level, he has to have fights like this now. And one thing I understand about David is when he's got a point to prove or his back's against the wall, he shows me way more than when he's the bigger dog in the fight. So that's making me excited about this one.
Yeah, I think anybody that was watching this output there already heard like it is coming across like he's punching. In terms of pound for pound power that you've had on the pads with other heavyweights, where does Adeleye rank?
Oh, he's up there. He's up there. The jab and the left hook, especially. His left hook, whether it's a long range shot or a short range shot, is world class. Absolutely. And, having held pads over the years for big punching heavyweights and seeing the effects that those shots can have on the division, he's already up there. It's about being in the fights and finding a position to land them.
He's going to come and join us in a minute, but let me just ask you about the other fighters that you've got in the gym at the moment. Congratulations to you and Josh Kelly for, I want to say, a quick and simple night's work. I know more goes into it than that, but he blew away Flavius Bayer recently. What next for Josh Kelly? Can he land the Conor Benn fight, the winner of Benn Eubank 2, perhaps if that happens, a world title fight, if not?
Well, risk over gain. Everyone loves these big domestic matchups, but why is Conor Benn or Eubank Jr. going to risk it against the Josh Kelly? Because the risk over the game for them doesn't make sense. Josh has got to kick that door down. I've had a couple of good conversations with Kathy Duva about Josh challenging Bakram Murtazaliev for the IBF super welterweight title. Conversations have been good, and that's the direction that I'm pushing at the moment.
So Josh Kelly's next fight could be for the world title if it goes your way?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great news. Harlem Eubank was on Sky Sports News earlier. It's been a hot day here in the gym. He didn't have a bead of sweat on him. He's the coldest man in this gym. You've already said it's the Eubank gene. He steps up in weight against Jack Catterall, raised a few eyebrows because he was a contender at 140 Harlem. But he probably won't be the favourite in that fight. So why that fight now?
Well, I think Harlem's 31 now, isn't he? So he has to step up or step off. And he definitely has attributes to challenge anyone. His quickness and his hand speed is lightning. And pretty sure that Jack Catterall hasn't seen hand speed like that in a fight before. But Jack Catterall's seasoned, world ranked, world class, should have been a world champion by now. And he is the absolute favourite in this fight. But Harlem definitely has elements to his game that could trouble Jack.
Yeah, but that's exciting, isn't it? Do you mind if he is in earshot? If I could swap you out for David Adeleye, or if it's live TV, you can go and get him. Gary and I can fill. Don't worry. We don't want to talk about him as if he's not here. Yeah. Moses Itauma, Dillian Whyte's top of that bill. Mm-hmm. Right fight at the right time. Matching a heavyweight is. Yeah. What a great job if it's not your money. But do you like the way that Itauma is being brought along?
Yes, I really do. I mean, listen, Frank Warren, Mickey Duff.
How are you?
These guys, they go down in history. I'm talking.
Okay, that's all right, don't worry.
They go down in history as the best strategists of their fighters on their up-and-coming fighters and getting them to where they need to go. I think it's the right time for him. Dillian is not the Dillian that he used to be, although he'll argue that's I'm talking a bunch of... But, I think it's the right time for him. He didn't look great in the Tete fight, but he's still a name, and you know that Dillian Whyte's coming to fight. And that probably suits Moses. That really does suit him. Yeah,
not sure you can say that, so apologies for the language there. David Adeleye, come and join us over here. I don't want to keep you waiting. I mean, Danger Money, you hit hard, I have to be honest. Filip Hrgovic, big step up from the level that you've been at. Yeah. How confident are you that is the right time to take that step?
Very confident. I think I need these kind of fights, especially now in my career. Fights I wake up in the morning knowing that there's someone on the other side training just as hard as me. Tough, stylistically good. These are the fights that get my juices flowing. So these are the fights I want to be in with.
Yeah, they get our juices flowing as well, though, because the the British title fights where you've looked good. TKV, obviously, there was noise around that. A lot of people thought that you would go straight to the rematch there. Was this too good of an opportunity to turn down? And what does that mean for your British title? Do you think now that you will have to give that up?
I suppose, look, initially I thought I was going into the rematch as well. For what I know, it was signed, sealed and delivered on my end before it was done. Penciled in for August 23rd in Manchester.
Yeah, the week after the date that you've now got. Yeah.
So, we were like, look, we got the Jamie fight. And you know how boxing is, right? You just get the call out sometimes for bigger and better opportunities. And he was one of the opponents that we always wanted to fight. So the opportunity came knocking. You know, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, Frank threw Dave under the bus getting this fight, but no, we asked for this.
Yeah.
These are the fights that I asked for, so.
Yeah, so I hadn't heard that. I thought the noise was pretty good. So if people sort of said, you know, why take that fight? I'm surprised, because if you're going to get to where you want to get to, you're going to have to beat the likes of Filip Hrgovic.
To rob the bank, you got to go through some big, strong doors. You can't just get straight to the money, right? So to get to the top, I got to go through some big, strong opponents. And to do that, Hrgovic is one of them. So, look, we've got to get him out the way and then look on to bigger and better things.
Adam Booth was talking whilst you weren't in earshot. He said you have all the attributes to become world champion. Do you believe if you get it all right on any given night that you can do that? I mean, I'm probably talking about life post Usyk, Fury, Joshua, because we may well be in a sport where in 12 months' time they're not around anymore.
Yeah. I mean, look, God knows how long they got left in the sport. You know, it's the young guns kind of up and coming now. So, but yeah, look, there's nobody out there that I can't beat.
Yeah.
There's no one out there that can take these shots when I let my hands go as well. It's just facts. You know, two things I don't lie, facts and figures. And there's power too.
Yeah, that's three things, but I'm not going to correct you. Before you go, just a very... No, I won't. Just a very, very quick one. Wardley had a win the other day with a big knockout. You're both now moving up the rankings. Is that old ground that you're willing to go over?
100%. Look, it's one of them fights that's obviously going to happen before we both retire, right? I need to right that wrong. I said, look, I think if I was to fight Wardley 10 times, I'd win 9 of them times. I think the one time he would win was the time we fought. So I think once we get it on again, I kind of get to right that wrong and move forward. You know, thing about me is I'm an easy person to make fights with. Certain names are brought forward, we don't shy away from them. Like I said, going back to the Jamie rematch, I thought that was signed, sealed and delivered. I was going to put that to bed emphatically. It was going to be so conclusive the second time around, nobody would have had time to say anything. But, like we said, opportunities come knocking and we take them. Other fighters are brought forward. You know, other names are brought forward. Some people talk, you know, good online and they talk good on the TV and whatnot, but behind closed doors, when it's time to sign contracts, they don't sign. Cough, cough. You know, certain fighters know who they are, but we move on to bigger and better. So we've got Hrgovic now.
I'm getting out of here before getting any more trouble. Thank you very much, David Adeleye, top man. Gary, thank you very much. And thank you to Adam Booth as well.